And hella
What's
Danny
up,
Boy
folks?
and Bill Corpus Crispy with you on a Monday night. How's it going, everybody?
What's going
Um,
on, people?
we
Happy
are
Super Bowl week.
happy Super Bowl week indeed, Billy Boy. Um, 387 SIP SIN. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for always joining us live on the YouTube. And of course, if you're listening to us um, on our other audio platforms, thank you for listening to the audio version as well. Not too much to talk about, but important stuff to talk about. May I say, a lot of things broke
Now I
since we
know,
last talked to you.
yeah, now I know what you're all thinking. Wait a minute, guys, it's Super Bowl week. Shouldn't you guys be doing like all Super Bowl stuff? And like, okay, since we do two shows a week, we're gonna save the Super Bowl stuff for Friday
Mhm. Yeah, we don't want to be too burnt out with the Super Bowl because the
because we
thing
got
is,
the Super Bowl
yeah,
preview we're gonna be doing on Friday. Then Sunday we're gonna be doing the pregame
yeah, it's gonna be
with
too much.
everyone at the network. So today we're gonna cover non-Super Bowl stuff basically.
Exactly.
And
We'll
we'll
have we'll
again
have plenty of time to react to all the other football stuff.
we'll don't worry, we'll talk about the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that on Friday.
Yeah.
And because we're gonna be because we gotta do Friday, we're talking about the Super Bowl. Sunday we got the pregame show, and then Monday we're gonna be giving our post-mortem.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a lot to talk about. But today we got some stuff to talk about today. Some interesting NBA news broke over the weekend, didn't it?
Yeah. This was after I was watching the Knicks Lakers game and I was doing my shows and maybe about an hour or so um after the fact um we did all the newscasts and stuff. I then saw the trade go down. Of course, I'm in a newscast, so it broke during the newscast. I was busy, but I find out Luka Doncic goes to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, and I'm like, mind blown, mind blown, crazy.
Insane.
Um, Initial reaction, shocked. Um, I'm not shocked with the Lakers trading AD. AD's injury prone. Lakers not really going anywhere with him, so I'm not shocked at that part. I'm more shocked with Dallas and that they made that trade. I'm sorry. I look at this trade and I'm like, what value is Dallas getting uh out of this trade? I look at that and I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say fleeced. I don't know if that's the right word. Um, More like a highway robbery. That's what it is. Like someone
This is a
came in
high.
here, stole your treasury goods, and left you with $20 bills. That's what happened here.
Oh, absolutely.
Highway robbery. This is just horrible. Like, what were the Mavericks thinking?
I don't. What were they thinking? You get okay. You now have Luka. The if you if you are the Lakers, you now got Doncic with
Mhm.
LeBron. That team is gonna be
Like,
scary.
you have to understand, Luka Doncic, for the type of shooter that he is, type of all-around player that he is, and the fact that he's only 25 years old, Bill. He's
Wow.
already been in the NBA Finals. He was in it last year with Dallas. And Dallas says, bye bye. That's it. We're done. Like, how insane is that?
That
Now,
is
look,
insane.
Now, look, Dallas is not having the greatest season so far. I will give them that. Obviously, the rise of the Grizzlies, the Houston Rockets, obviously, all across the Western Conference, um, it's made their season iffy at best. But man, I mean, how in God's name can you trade for someone who, by the way, is not Anthony Davis is not playing right now, so that's another thing. Um, but your generational superstar talent is now putting on a Laker uniform. Crazy. Superstar.
Anthony Davis. No, Doncic.
Doncic.
So
Lakers
I
fans.
had a duh moment.
It's fine. Um, in any case. Um, crazy. Just crazy. If this were David Stern, NBA, David Stern does not allow this trade to happen. You have to understand the Lakers have tried so many times to do these big ass trades, Chris Paul trade, you just to name one of them, and he nixed them like it was no big deal. So the fact that it's allowing to happen, like, can you imagine an NBA or in any league where your superstar talent is now in danger, no matter what how they're doing, um, playing wise. You can just trade your superstar talent, no big deal, no problem. Crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, it's insane.
It's suicide. That's what I call it. Suicide.
So now
Um,
that Luka Doncic is on the Lakers, do you think this is really going to help the Lakers now?
it sure is. It gives them a big time sharpshooter for sure. Two superstars on one team, LeBron and Luka Doncic. Right in the centerpiece of that team. This is gonna be a dominant team. Hopefully, it's a dominant team. That's what the Lakers are hoping for. But yeah, with that, and of course some of the rising young stars on the on the LA side, like yeah, it's this is a team that can compete now. And LeBron's trying to chase for another championship. Boom, you just have another big time star piece to do it. So crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Insane. Um, I was shocked when I saw it. I'm still shocked now. And man, if I'm the Knicks, since this trade went down, like what would it take just to see? Now, I'm kidding, obviously, but but still, like just the thought of it, like if we can trade superstar for superstar, it's like you know,
Why not?
God, insane, crazy, just absolutely crazy.
So do you
Um,
think the Mavericks are now going to take a big hit?
Massive. I mean, they still have Kyrie, but you know, I just don't understand why you trade your best player for chump change.
And you know what's interesting about all this, Reggie?
What's up?
This went out. This was very secretive.
Yeah, this just came out of nowhere. Exactly.
This just came out of nowhere. It was very secretive.
Yeah.
This is it, and it didn't come out to a peep. Like I remember yesterday morning, my phone was blowing up in a group chat I'm in. And yeah, I'm in way too many group chats, folks. But anyway,
Hmm.
a group chat with my brother and a couple of his friends are all like, "Oh my God, Doncic is going to the Lakers. They traded him for Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is going to Dallas. This is insane."
Hmm.
So I think it's safe to say that the Lakers are the big winner in this trade.
Massive winner. Um, and of course, as you can imagine, a lot of people in Dallas are upset, confused, don't quite understand. I know Luka Doncic's father wasn't very happy. One, that the Mavericks traded his son, but also, like you said, about how secretive this was, this whole trade was. The fact that there was no heads up Like, if you're gonna trade a player, don't you think it would be nice to give a little heads up, like, hey, look, we're gonna move you. Um, so that kind of sucks. Um, then of course, former majority owner, now minority owner, Mark Cuban also reacted saying that he doesn't approve of the trade. Of course, he can't do anything now, but um, but yeah, he was in shock as well. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because of the trade, I believe the max deal for Luka Doncic is now off the table. It's like reversed.
Yes.
So I think that was part of the reason. They were like afraid of that big time super max deal that he would have been eligible for. I believe this offseason, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the offseason after that. But whatever the case is, um, I think the Mavericks didn't want to pay that big time deal. And of course, now that Supermax contract is no longer a thing. It's ineligible. It's no longer a thing since he got traded. So I don't get it. Your superstar player, to me, if you know you have a superstar, unless they are non-committal to him for the future, you have a superstar player that could win you an NBA title right now. Again, I understand that you're taking a bit of a dive this season, but you have a player right now that can win. Go out and try to win.
Oh,
Crazy.
100% agreed.
I think it's insane. I think Dallas is crazy. For the Lakers, I think they got better. They don't have to deal with Anthony Davis. Look, and Davis is a great player, but he's hurt all the time. He can't stay on the floor. So I think getting rid of um, him was a major, major win. Um, on top of it was a three-team trade, by the way. Utah Jazz were involved with the deal. Uh, Max Christie and a 2029 first round pick goes to Dallas along with Davis. A couple, a player and a couple second rounders go to Utah, and then of course, Maxi Kleba and Markieff Morris with Doncic goes to the Lakers. I don't get it. I think it's crazy.
Oh, that trade is insane.
I think it's crazy.
Now, here's a big question for you, Reg. Do you think with Doncic now in Los Angeles,
Mhm.
how long is LeBron's contract?
He's got a bit.
Do you think maybe the Lakers eventually want to start
LeBron.
grooming Doncic to be their next star of the
Oh,
franchise
oh no, he's gonna be the star.
and think LeBron's
He's
days
gonna
are
he's gonna
numbered?
is he's gonna be the star. Um, he has a LeBron as a player option next season. He's gonna keep that. He's the star. Luka Doncic is 25 years old. Lakers aren't getting rid of that. Lakers have the money. They'll keep him. They ain't getting rid of that. I mean, if they do, some other team will pick him up for sure. But you can't trade for Luka Doncic and not think about committing to him for the future. That's just crazy talk. So, um, yeah, no, I think that Luka is going to be probably the next face of the franchise for LA.
And
How it's
LeBron's days
not
are numbered.
well, no, because LeBron is going to play at least another year. I don't know if it's number. He's going to play another year.
So yeah, welcome to the new era in LA.
Yeah, crazy,
Welcome to the new
insane.
era in Los Angeles,
Mm,
Mr. Luka Doncic.
insane.
Yeah, so just again, so crazy how they were so tight-lipped about this, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but of course, when presented the opportunity, the Lakers didn't. They didn't. I think they passed on it once, but then went back and revisited, and they were able to get a deal done. I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy. It's insane. And I have no words. After this, I have no words.
You have no worries or no words,
No
sorry.
words.
All right. So Doncic is now in LA. Davis is
Hmm.
now in Dallas.
Yeah,
Good luck.
crazy.
We wish them all the best.
God.
Okay. So, well, we got some sad news we got to talk about, unfortunately, don't we?
Hmm. Is it
It,
sad though?
well,
De-
anytime someone leaves this earth, it's
it depends on how you viewed him. But go ahead.
former Major League Baseball commissioner Fay Vincent passed away this weekend. He was 86 years old.
Hmm.
He was commissioner from 1989 to 1992. And some people would say that he was controversial. Would you say?
That's a safe word to say. Yeah.
Because because there were some things that he presided over. There were some things that he presided over that people really were not too thrilled about. One thing was, of course, he was the one who gave the lifetime suspension to Pete, who banned Pete Rose from the Hall of
Mhm.
Fame.
Right.
He also he also banned George Steinbrenner.
Mhm.
It was originally going to be a lifetime ban, but and then it eventually got lifted. Okay, the Steinbrenner thing, to be fair to Vay Vincent, I think Steinbrenner kind of deserved it.
No, no, he didn't kind of deserve it. He
He
flat
deserved
up. He deserved it.
if you want to know
He
the
deserved
funny
it.
thing, if you've ever read the book, it's called From Chumps to Champs. It's about the Yankees in the late 80s and into
Mhm.
the 90s dynasty.
Yep.
Um, the lifetime ban, believe it or not, was actually George Steinbrenner's idea.
Yeah.
Was actually George Steinbrenner's idea. And Fay Vincent was only going to suspend him for 2 years. He said, you know what, why don't we just do a lifetime ban? And saying, with all this, because Steinbrenner was also on the Olympic committee or something.
Cool. We don't have to get into that, but yeah.
But he also said this isn't going to look good for that. So why don't you just ban me for life? And he
Yeah.
did. So you got that. You also have the Pete Rose stuff. I think that was the biggest mistake of his career. That was the biggest mistake of his career. What do you think?
I mean, I guess when protecting the integrity of the game, if you're looking at that point, no, it's not. But yeah, I think it was a mistake. Yeah.
And then there was the and then there was the 1989 World Series
Yeah.
when, for those of you who don't know, that was when the earthquake went off during the San Francisco and Oakland game in game 3 of the 1989 World Series when there was a earthquake and at 5:35 after coming to the conclusion that power couldn't be restored, Vincent ordered the game to be postponed. But already made the decision to postpone game three without telling anybody first, and the umpires filed a formal protest of Vincent's decision. And because there was gas trouble and the power was out, they had to postpone it anyway. And then it got resumed after 10 days because there was conflict between Faye Vincent and the mayor.
Yeah.
And and this was and to be fair, I don't know how to feel about this. Like on one, actually, no, I think because I think the mayor wanted the game to be postponed much longer
Mhm.
because we just had a freaking earthquake and people died.
Right.
And Faye Vincent was like, "Come on, let's get this thing rolling." So I think Faye Vincent's legacy is going to be very complicated. Well, Reg, what do you think?
Well, it's complicated, but you know, obviously, I don't think he intended everything to be bad. You know, it's just that a lot of the decisions, a lot of them were bad, but also a lot of them were, you know, tough ones. He had a bad relationship with the owners. That was the bottom line. He had a really just awful, awful relationship. He presided over a lockout too in 1990. Nothing crazy like 94, but still, it just it was just it was just a rough look for him throughout his time as commissioner. You know, for many of the reasons, including what you said about Pete Rose, which you know, massive, massive failure on
I think, what do you think is going to be the big black mark on his career?
that.
The earthquake or Pete Rose?
I think both of them are, to me, 1A, 1B.
I think the whole Pete Rose situation, I think we're going to be saying this to the cows come home. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, I bet up there right now, I bet he is not getting a warm embrace from Pete Rose right now.
No, he ain't.
And, I feel like he wanted to protect the integrity of the game, which I can respect, but at the same time, come on, man. Come on. But you know what? Here is one thing I will give Dave Vincent credit for. You ready? One thing I'll give him credit for. He, we all know the whole thing with Roger Maris when he broke Ruth's record in 1961.
Mhm.
There was a whole thing. I got to give you all some context. Most of you probably know the story, but for all three of you who don't, there was a Ford Frick, who was the commissioner at the time, when Maris and Mantle were going after the record. They wanted to preserve Babe Ruth's legacy and said, if you hit the if they hit the game within 154 games, which is how many games Ruth played, then they have the record. If they hit it, because this was the first year they were playing 162 games. If they hit it after 154, it's considered a separate record. That's why they had like 61 and an asterisk right next to it. But then when Faye Vincent came in, he said, you know what, we're abolishing that separate record thing. Roger Maris is the single season home run leader. So you know what? I think that was actually a good thing that Faye Vincent did, believe it or not. I don't know what you think, Reg, but
It's cool, but again, he's not going to be remembered for that.
unfortunately, he's going to be
No,
remembered for the earthquake. He's going to
for
be
the
remembered for the whole
right.
thing with Pete
Yeah,
Rose.
but the whole George Steinbrenner, a lot happened while he was commissioner. That's
But
the
of those three, I think the Steinbrenner thing was the least bad of those three. I think
yeah,
Steinbrenner deserved to get suspended.
yeah.
And even like years later, if you watch Steinbrenner's Yankeeography, Steinbrenner said, "Listen, I have no bitterness towards Faye Vincent. He was doing what was best for the game. I
Right.
have no resentment towards him. He was just trying to have integrity for the game." But I think we should. He's. I think his legacy at the end of the day is a mixed bag. But if I were to say, does it lean more good or lean more bad? I would say it leans more bad. Pete Rose, you basically tried to rush through an earthquake to get your stupid game back. I think Faye Vincent will not be remembered lightly. Reg, any words, parting words on that?
I mean, look, it's a you had a tough relationship with baseball, and you know the bottom line is it's a controversial figure. Bottom line,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, so Faye Vincent dead at the age of 86. Now, moving on to football. Nope, nope, not that. Not that. Wait till Friday. We do got some NFL news, believe it or not. The Las Vegas Raiders of Oakland have hired Chip Kelly as their new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Chip Kelly, off of his national championship win with Ohio State, uh, goes back to the NFL as a coordinator. I thought he was done with the NFL. That's the crazy thing. Um,
And hey, you know what? I think that Raiders coaching staff is going to be great. We got
it's a
Pete
good, it's a
Carroll.
good, well, Pete Carroll's running the ship. That's why I trust this move. Um,
You got Pete Carroll as head coach. You got Chip Kelly as OC.
yeah.
And there's potential talk of a potential reunion between Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson.
I mean, if they can make it happen, if they want it to happen, obviously. Uh, let's see what the Raiders want to do. Raiders coaching staff looks pretty good. At least so far it does.
And but now who's going to be the quarterback?
Right. We gotta see who that's gonna be. The Raiders don't have one right now. But they do have an offensive coordinator, great offensive guy in Chip Kelly.
Oh, they have a very good offensive coordinator. I think this is going to be like I'm saying. I think the Raiders are going to be low key good next year, but it depends on
Yeah.
what happens.
Well, they have to get the right players too. But even if they don't have the right players, you still have confidence because Pete Carroll's your head coach. Like that should give you some relief a little bit, knowing who's actually running your team.
Oh, absolutely. Who is running your team?
Right.
Um, so we got that going on in Vegas.
Right.
We also got something going on in Cleveland.
Mhm.
They actually wish they were Detroit. Am I right?
Yep.
And for those of you who know that was like what 2008.
It's a song from many moons ago. Yes.
We're old. Remember that. We're
Yeah.
old.
Check on YouTube. It's in like I think it's still in the 4:3
We're
ratio.
not Detroit.
Crazy.
We're not Detroit.
Oh my God. In any case, Miles Garrett wants out of Cleveland. He has requested a trade. Um, obviously one of the big bright stars of the Cleveland Browns, and um, one of the big time defensive ends of the game. Now Miles Garrett wants out. I'm sure it's probably because he's just so sick and tired of the losing. As any young player, like he's not young anymore, but he's become a big time veteran for that team. Eventually, the crap. When does he? How much crap can he take? For all the good things that he does for that team. Well, many times he's made the Pro Bowl, many times he's won big time defensive awards and has so many sacks and gets to the quarterback. Everything that this guy does. How much more crap can he take? How much more crap can he take?
I know. How much more? So, where do you think he belongs?
No, that's the thing. What team actually wants him?
That's a good question.
I'll
Which team
take
would
him.
you?
I'll take him on the Jets.
Hey, we'll take him. We'll take him.
Giants can take him too. I think it'd be a perfect landing spot for Pittsburgh too. Pittsburgh would gladly take him, steal him from the division rival, you know.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Some
Um,
are saying that he would be good for the Commanders
sure. We'll take him over in Washington as well.
because they are equipped with 780 with no, sorry, $78 million in cap space.
Yeah. So they can take on a contract like that. Yeah.
And yeah, so Commanders maybe. So I think Miles Garrett might be saying goodbye to Cleveland.
Yep.
So anyway, we got some breaking news right now.
Crazy breaking news.
Cooper Cup.
Mhm.
Cooper Cup. The Rams are saying they are going to are seeking to trade him.
That's all we're hearing right now is the seek to trade, right?
It says, yeah, it says right here, the wide receiver Cooper Cup has been informed by the Los Angeles Rams that the team will be seeking a trade immediately. I
Mm-hmm.
don't agree with the decision and always believed it was going to begin and end in LA. The receiver said the team will be working with him and his family to find the right place to continue competing championships. During the Rams' final locker room of the season after the team lost to the Eagles in the divisional round of the playoffs, Cooper said that there was no doubt in his mind that he wanted to play in 2025. He said, well, he loved to be in LA. He has no control over what will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And of
Wow.
course, that uh, knowing that this is the last you're going to see Cooper Cup in the Rams uniform. Um, it sucks because you always think when you think of Cooper Cup, you think of him as a Ram, right?
Yes,
No other team. But the reality is that the NFL is a business, and you know he he has to take on some of the hardships of that business, which is sometimes you gotta make sacrifices to better your squad. And I don't know if this is gonna make the Rams better, but money, maybe financially make him better. I don't know. I don't know what the Rams are thinking, but it's a tough one for Cooper because that's his only team. That's all he's ever known over
Stafford
the past eight
losing
years.
a top receiver.
Exactly. And then, obviously, he's been there through a couple quarterbacks, but Stafford was this guy with the championships, right? So,
So
won a Super Bowl MVP too. So it's like, you know, like I just if you're a lifelong LA Ram, you're there for 8 seasons. Like it's wild.
that is wow. Well,
Wow.
we'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, listen, I didn't tell you about this, but this is a story I actually read about earlier today. It's a pretty serious story. It's interesting. It involves the New Orleans Saints. I don't know if you heard about this or not. I I read about it this morning, then I totally forgot. I had to do some work, and then I forgot about it till now. but I think this needs to be talked about. Are you ready, Reg?
Go for it. Let's see it. Let's hear it.
Okay. I just want to say to anyone there, to anyone here, to people who've suffered a certain type of abuse, you might not want to listen to this. And this goes to the hands of the New Orleans Saints, that the NFL had been there were emails that were revealed from the NFL that were from the Associated Press that said, get this, over the past couple whenever, the New Orleans Archdiocese have been dealing with clergy abuse, if you know what I mean. And I just want to say before I continue, this is not an attack on the Catholic Church. Reg and I are both Catholic, but I think we can both admit there have been some priests who've been out of line, if you know what I mean. Apparently, the Saints owner, there was emails revealed. There were emails that were revealed saying that the team executives played a role in trying to help the archdiocese cover this up. And it says right here, it said, hold on, it says the Saints did damage control. The New Orleans Saints did damage control for the New Orleans Archdiocese. It says that there were hundreds of confidential emails that have surfaced allegedly showing executives of the New Orleans Saints doing public relations control for the area's Roman Catholic Archdiocese amid its clergy SA crisis. And it Mustaine, who wrote this, a Louisiana native who was part of a team that won a Pulitzer Prize winning for local reporting of the New Orleans Advocate, began covering the high-profile clergy abuse case of a longtime deacon in the newspaper more than 2 years ago and continued to break news on it after coming to the AP in 2018. It says attorneys are suing 24 men, saying the emails show that the Saints aided the Archdiocese of New Orleans in its pattern and practice concealing its concerns. And wow. And apparently, according to court files, the Saints tried to keep those emails private. I think this is the Saints owner, who is a devout Catholic. Dude, I don't know what to say to this. You?
I mean, this. I mean that. Let's see, because this is stuff that was released to the Associated Press, right?
Yes.
So,
Oh, this is,
um,
I'm reading it from the Associated Press right now.
yeah, I mean, the fact that there's leaked emails about a possible cover up, again, I don't know how true it is. Um, uh, but the fact that there were ways to where they were sort of coaching the New Orleans archdiocese about how to um, uh, possibly cover up this abuse scandal. I mean, how can you not look at this if you're any owner across the NFL and anyone in general, football player? How can you look at that and be like, yeah, like I want this representing our league. You can't have that.
That's right here.
That's
The records which
that's that's embarrassing.
the records which the Saints and the church had long to sought to keep out of the public view revealed team executives played a more extensive role than previously known in a public relations campaign to mitigate the fallout from the clergy SA scandal. Emails shed new light on the Saints' foray into a fraught topic fall from the gridiron, a behind-the-scenes effort driven by the team's devoutly Catholic owner, who has enjoyed a long, close relationship with the city's embattled archbishop. They also showed that how various New Orleans institutions, from a sit-in federal judge to the local media, rallied around church leaders at a critical moment. Among the key moments, as revealed in the Saints' own emails, Saints executives were so involved in the church damage control that a spokesman briefed his boss on a 2018 call with the city's top prosecutor hours before the church released a list of clergymen accused of abuse. The call, the spokesman said, allowed us to take certain people off the list. Team officials were among the first people outside the church to view that list. A careful, curated, yet undercounted roster of suspected P words. The disclosure of those names entailed in civil claims that the church drew attention from federal and state law enforcement. The team's president, Dennis Lashada, drafted more than a dozen questions that Archbishop Gregory Amon should be prepared to answer as he faced report. Holy crap. Okay, I want to say,
If you're Gail Benson, like, how in God's name do you allow this to happen under your watch?
I want to say,
Under your watch.
Does Dennis Lashia, I have a question. Does he want to be the Saints president or does he want to be the Archbishop's PR guy? Which one does he
The
want to do?
bigger
Which one do you want
question,
to do, Dennis? Do you want to run this team or do you want to be the Archdiocese's PR guy?
the bigger question is, does Gail Benson want to be the owner? Because that's not a good look if
It
you're
says
an
right here,
NFL owner.
the Saints senior vice
I
president of communication, Greg Bensel. Greg Bensel's the owner, right?
No, Gail Benson's the owner.
Gail Benz.
Greg Bensel is a executive, he's a top guy.
Okay, got them confused. Sorry. Greg Bensel provided fly on the wall updates to Lucia about local media interviews suggesting church and team leaders were all on the same team. He's doing well. Bensel
Ben,
wrote as the Archbishop told reporters the church was committed to addressing the crisis. This is our message. Bensel added that we will not stop here today.
Bensel, VP of Communications. Yeah.
Yes. The
Um,
emails obtained by AP shortly undercut assurances that the Saints gave fans about the public relation guidance 5 years ago when they asserted that they had provided only minimal assistance to the church. This is not minimal assistance.
I would like to see how much more they can dig into this.
The team went to
Um,
court to keep its internal emails secret.
I would
This,
like to see how much more they can dig in
oh, I do too.
because it's damning. This is bad.
Oh, this is beyond bad.
This is horrible.
And Gail
Yeah.
Bensel should literally fire these people right now. But
She's
she's also a devout Catholic, so she's probably going to play defense for them. And also, there's more. Mandy Landry, she's a state representative from New Orleans. She said, "quote As a New Orleans resident, taxpayer, and Catholic, it doesn't make any sense why the Saints would go to these lengths to protect grown men who were children. All of them should have been just as horrified at the allegations."
Yeah. I don't know why, if you're the Benson family, I don't know how you can allow your VP of communications or any other person within your organization to help out a archdiocese, a major archdiocese in the country, in protecting them against the allegations of abuse. You can't do that. That's morally wrong. In a world where we're trying to protect children from many different things, right?
Yes.
Especially sexual predators. This is not the thing you can. Don't play defense for the archdiocese. Play defense for the children. Like, you have young fans of your team.
And listen, if I'm a Saints fan, and let's say I have kids and I have season tickets,
Yeah. Like, what is that? What is that? What message does that
I would
send
sell my
to?
tickets immediately.
I mean, like, it depends. Let Saints fans talk for themselves. But, like,
No, I'm
you
just saying
know,
I myself, because if I don't have children, but if I did, I would say this is an ownership who cared more about protecting defense, playing defense for
Well,
men, who did unexcusable things to children. They're more concerned about playing defense for them. Like that is beyond. And Reg, this is coming from a practicing Catholic right here. That is disgusting.
Gail Benson, again, we need to know more, like how much more they can dig into
Oh, you're
this.
about to know more.
Gail Benson, this is bad look for her. I mean, she took over about what 6, 7 years ago after her husband died. So
This is
this
just
could be her legacy,
and
and not only the Saints, but the Pelicans too, because she owns the Pelicans.
oh my God.
So
Like
can you imagine? And look, obviously, the Saints and Pelicans are two different franchises from two different sports, but still, just the name alone. If your name, if this is the operation you want to run,
you
like it spills into all the things that you own. Like
oh
what are people going to think about
oh, you said you want to know how much. Oh, well, guess what? There's more, and she's involved. After the AP first reported on the alliance in early 2020, Saints owner Gail Benson denied that anyone associated with our organizations made recommendations or had input on the list of the P word priest. The Saints
you?
reiterated that denial in its statement Saturday, saying no Saints employees had any responsibility for adding or removing any names from the list. The team said no employees had offered any input, suggestions, or opinions.
But then of course
I hate these people.
there's leaked emails now, so we don't. So
The district Leon Cornizio, the district attorney at the time, last week denied any role in shaping the credible accused clergy list, echoing the statements that he made in 2020. He told the AP that he had absolutely no involvement in removing any names from the list. The emails sent from Saints accounts do not specify which clergymen were removed from the list or why. They raise false questions, however, about the Saints' role in a scandal that has taken on much larger and financial stakes since the team waded into it, potentially in violation of the NFL's policy against conduct determined by the league. Oh my, wow. This is not just a so they tried to cover up these priests who are on the list of who are doing things to children. Wow. Wow. I'm not even making the wow joke right now. It is inappropriate to make it at this moment, but wow. Here's what I think needs to be done. Are you ready, Reg?
there still has to be some type of investigation. But go ahead.
Yes.
What do you
But
think should be done?
one, this archbishop should resign like now.
Well, yeah, that's the obvious one.
That and like listen, we're a sports podcast. We don't I'm not going to tell the Archbishop of New Orleans what to do, but
Mhm.
he needs to resign. That's the
Right.
first thing. And now getting to this, I think there needs to be an There need the Roger Goodell needs to get off his ass and call an investigation.
No, 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 no. We need an outside party. Outside party.
And
No, no, no NFL. Because can you imagine the NFL getting involved with this and investigating? Come on now, Bill.
you know what's gonna happen when the
What
NFL
world do we
gets
live in?
involved. You know what's gonna happen.
No, 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 no,
Oh, okay, Mrs. Benson, you did okay. Don't do it again. Slap on the wrist. You're
no, no,
done
no, no. No.
because Roger Goodell is a
Get an outside,
for the young.
get an outside party and investigate.
Goodell should call for an
Mhm,
independent investigation.
mhm.
And if all of this is
I,
true,
I don't I think it should be called by someone else other than the NFL. I think there has to be an investigation from the archdiocese. There has to be an investigation called from lawmakers and people within the city. Like, forget the NFL. The NFL is gonna no, 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 no,
you know what needs to be
no.
done if there's more coming out in this investigation?
No.
I think Gail Benson has to be forced to sell.
Well, again, and that's why we need more information because if this is very true and this is a cover up, not only are the Saints covering up for the archetypist, but then of course you have the organization covering themselves up.
And you know what? Here's the
That
thing.
looks worse.
Why is the Saints front office being the New Orleans Archdiocese's public relations department all of a sudden? Why? Can somebody explain that to me? Could somebody smarter than me explain that to me, Reg?
It I don't know. Like there's no explanation for it.
On what planet, can somebody explain to me on what planet does this make sense on?
Mhm.
If you said it does not make sense on any planet, then you are correct. You are correct. This makes no sense. The Saints front office is being the Archdiocese's PR department right now.
Right.
And and I think every single one of them, if there's more coming out, Gail Benson needs to sell. She needs to sell. I think
Let's
the
see what happens though, because I don't know how involved she is. Obviously, from the first AP report, it looks bad. It looks terrible. So, but
oh,
let's
this
keep
is
that in mind. And then if more comes out and it's worse than we already read, then of course we can start being like, yeah, this is awful. She needs to go. But again, it's not just the Saints though. This also has to involve the Pelicans because why would the NBA want to get involved with an owner who used one of her organizations to cover up for the Archdiocese in New Orleans? That's going to look bad for the NBA too. So
so yeah, guess what?
crazy.
She's going down. She's taking Beth and she's taking both of her organizations down with her, isn't she?
Yeah, crazy.
She's taking both of the organizations down with her.
Yeah.
And listen, if I'm Adam Silver, I'd be deeply concerned right now.
Yeah. Well, Roger Goodell, Adam Silver, all those people.
I wonder if they're sitting in a room together right now with their mouths to the floor at the moment, reading this. Like,
uh,
Roger, yes, Adam.
uh, oh my.
Like,
What a
listen,
disgrace.
if there is more, and like, listen, this is only going off what we have now.
Yeah.
But like Reg said, if there is more coming out,
Yeah.
like the emails, it's going to be pretty tough to deny the emails. And apparently, from what again, this has been going on for at least 5 years because they talked about it in 2020. This has been going on for years.
Roger Goodell, when asked about Benson earlier, Mrs. Benson, the Saints are very involved in this community and they are great corporate citizens. So Mrs. Benson takes all these matters seriously. I'm confident they are playing nothing more than a supportive role to be more transparent.
Guess how much I hate Roger Goodell.
So I'm telling you, if the NFL tries to get involved here, there's no way, no way, no how does Saints get in trouble.
I Why can't Roger Goodell actually have a conscience for once and say, yes, we're taking these matters very seriously. There will be an investigation. We will have no further comments.
Yeah. And of course, this comes out, of course, Super Bowl week in New Orleans.
You know, you know what it is.
Oh my
You
gosh.
know what it is. It's like, okay, in politics, there's a term called the October surprise.
Mm,
And what that is, it's like something that comes out, like because November's are usually in elections are usually in November, and usually like a big scandal like breaks out like a month or two before. And so they call that the October surprise. So could we be having the Super Bowl week surprise?
right.
You know what? If I'm Mrs. Benson, I would not show my face this week.
She too late. She's
She's showing her
already
face, isn't
she,
she?
she's all over the Super Bowl parties. It's crazy. Too late.
Okay, can okay, you know what? If your team wants to go play PR for the Archdiocese, let them get a better PR team. And I would say, Mrs. Benson, I think it's best you keep a low profile right now.
Too late. New Orleans has a Super Bowl. She ain't doing that. Come on now.
No, but would you agree or disagree? I think it's best you keep a low profile.
Well, you can't expect her to do do so much. You know, like this is at the Superdome in her city. Her team's playing. Not that her team's not playing, but her team is hosting, right?
Yeah.
She ain't going to hide. She's gonna be out in full force.
How
So
much you want to bet all the outlets that are going to be there? Like, Mrs. Benson, did you know about this? Did you know about this? How much you want to
and
bet?
she ain't gonna answer a damn thing.
She's going to be two sitting there playing party
She
host.
ain't gonna answer a damn thing.
She'll
Exactly.
be playing party host.
Party host. Yep.
And she goes, nothing. Let's focus on this. Yay. So glad to be here. Super Bowl
What
59. Yay. Hi, everybody.
what a disaster.
This is just, dude, this is
Joke.
despicable.
Joke.
And I wonder if the New Orleans fans are going to be sitting there booing her.
I don't know. I can't speak for Saints fans.
But yeah, this is just a crazy story. And I just hope this gets resolved like soon. And by resolved, I mean more investigations and Gail Benson sells the team. Like, no, I'm sorry.
It looks really bad. This
If
looks
you're
bad.
covering for these people, then I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for you.
And
Again,
and
coming from a practicing
and
Catholic, I have no sympathy for you.
yeah, and investigation needs to be called, but it cannot involve the NFL because we already know, based on what we heard from Goodell, no way we can trust him.
So yeah. So that's what especially I can't believe it's Super Bowl week surprise.
Super Bowl week, and we already have a bombshell. So many bombshells. The Doncic, Cooper Cup in the middle of the show.
Now,
Benson,
now what? What's
more
gonna happen?
BS.
What's gonna happen?
Uh,
You know what? If today's only Monday, I'm scared for what the rest of the week is gonna be.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well,
Did
Dallas
you
half
also?
alien.
Yeah. Did you also hear about the MLB umpire that was fired for sharing for shared betting accounts?
Vaguely, no. What happened?
Pat Holberg, he shared legal sports betting accounts with a friend who bet on baseball and for intentionally deleting messages key to the investigation into the conduct. Oh my God. Insane. Why are you betting on baseball? Stop. If you want to bet on basketball or football, fine. Don't bet on the sport that you are an official for. You're an umpire. What are you doing?
That's a good question.
God. Oh, and by the way, I think the feds are now saying something about how Otani's interpreters not really have a gambling problem, whatever it is. This whole story just becomes a mess. Otani knew that his money was being stolen. Get the. I don't want to hear
He
this.
knew. He knew.
I don't want to hear this BS.
He knew. The
Yeah,
guy knew.
yeah. But of course, baseball doesn't want anyone to know that, right?
No, they don't want anyone to know about it.
Like, come on now. So we can fire this umpire for betting on baseball. Can't fire Otani? Come on now. Can we get rid of him? You know?
No, absolutely. I agree.
Come on.
You know what? You know what they could do to cover this up? Hire the Saints front office to play defense for you.
Exactly. To play PR, crisis management firm.
Yeah,
The
hire
Saint, the
them to be
Saints, the
crisis
Saints,
management
the Saints communications office.
because they're doing a fine job right now, aren't they?
What a disaster.
I just want to say one more thing back to that. Maybe you should focus more on hiring a head coach than this
Mhm.
bullshit.
Oh yeah, by the way, we still don't know.
We still don't know. We know
It's
everything
February.
happens. It's Super Bowl week.
It's February. Who are they gonna hire? Who are they gonna hire?
Who are they going to hire indeed?
What a disgrace.
Oh my God. What a disgrace this team
My
is.
my my guess is they're waiting on Kellen Moore.
I think they're waiting on him too.
And then once Kellen Moore is free as a bird, pun intended, um, he will then be hired. That's my guess.
I think so too.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, so we got wow, a bunch of scandals here today.
Yeah. And then of course a dumb shit trade that I still don't understand why Dallas did what they did. I think they're stupid. I will always believe that. Um,
Let's end on a light, on something light, shall we?
sure,
NFL
sure.
Honors is this Thursday.
It is this week. Yes, it is.
So, and I know we talked about this before, but let's make picks of who do we think is gonna win. Let's
Mhm.
start with let us start with we will start with all assistant coach of the year. And the nominees are Bills OC Joe Brady, Eagles DC Vic Fangio, Lions OC Ben Johnson, Lions DC Aaron Glenn, and Vikings DC Brian Flores. Who do you got, Reggie?
As this is the assistant coach of the year,
Yes.
I'm gonna go with. Uh, there's two I have in mind. I'm gonna go with Vic Fangio,
Okay.
Eagles.
How come?
Philly's defense is great, and they're in the Super Bowl.
I'm gonna go with Aaron Glenn. I think
Even after that disaster against the Commanders, I think that took his stock down. Don't you think?
you know what? That's a fair point.
I mean, look, don't listen to me. I'm just
Oh,
giving
no,
my
no, no.
opinion.
But most of the year, he led this line. He helped lead this Lions team, even when a bunch of the defensive players were out.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go with Glenn. All right. Who's going to be coach of the year? The nominees are Dan Campbell from the Lions, Kevin O'Connell from the Vikings, Sean Payton from the Broncos, Dan Quinn from the Commanders, and Andy Reid from the Chiefs.
Uh, I wanted to be Dan Quinn, but that's just bias. I'm going with Dan Campbell.
But Reg, what about the game against the Commanders?
Exactly, right?
But I'm going
No,
with Dan Quinn.
I know I'm basing my prediction off of what everyone else is thinking. Everyone else is going to look at the Lions' record and how great they were, number one seed and everything. They're going to look at that and be like, yeah, Campbell, he's the guy.
I like Dan Campbell, and listen, I think he got screwed last year. I think he got
Yeah,
screwed over last year, but I
yeah.
think it's gonna. I'm gonna. I think it's gonna be Dan Quinn. I think because Dan Quinn, he took this team, new ownership, new head coach, rookie QB, and they were one game away from the Super Bowl. So I got to go Dan Quinn on this one. Reg, am I right? Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. Dan Quinn's great. I want him to. He's done a great job. My only thing with Washington though is I feel like you know they didn't really have to go through to like I felt like they were better than the Bucks. Um, the way getting into the playoff, they had to beat the Falcons. Their Falcons were not that good. Like, yes, don't get me wrong. The Commanders had an awesome season. And believe me, there's a lot of room to grow. They're going to be a very good team for years to come. Hopefully, that's the case. But their biggest challenge was really against the Lions. Other than that, against Philly, they were duds. They faced the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are not that good. Falcons are not that good. They did face a lot of teams that weren't that good this year too. So it's like, you know, Just some food for thought. Not
Yeah.
saying that Dan Quinn doesn't deserve it. No, he deserves it for real. It's a young team and it's a team that was really bad the year before, and now of course they were a win away from the Super Bowl. But I just think Dan Campbell, a much tougher division, a tougher NFC, no cakewalks. He had no cakewalks this year, and the fact with that the Lions had so many injuries on their staff, both offense and defense. That's why I'm giving him the coach of the year.
Okay. Next one, comeback player of the year. Joe Burrow from the Bengals, Sam Darnold from the Vikings, J.K. Dobbins from the Chargers, Christian Gonzalez from the Patriots, and Damar Hamlin from the Bills.
Why is DeMar Hamlin on this
Last year I
list?
could understand, but
Why is he on this list?
I don't know.
I think it's
I'm
stupid.
I'm going
It's dumb. I'm definitely not picking him.
I'm going Sam
Um,
Darnold.
I'm going with Darnold too.
But I think Burrow is going to be a close second.
No, he's not. Sam
Uh,
Darnold had a
he-
tremendous look. Joe Burrow always has a great year. Sam Darnold, this. It's not while not necessarily his coming out party. This is definitely his best season by far, and he's had a lot of rough roads.
oh, he has.
He's
And you
had a
know,
lot of rough roads.
and just how he entered the spotlight. You have this top draft pick, JJ McCarthy. He's
Yeah,
out. He's injured. He's out for the year. And then Darnold comes in and leads the Vikings to a great season. So I think Darnold's going to be comeback player of the year.
exactly. And if I'm the Vikings, F JJ McCarthy. You already have a quarterback. He's fine.
He got hurt. That's a him problem.
He's fine. You know,
Okay. Next one. Defensive rookie of the year. Braden Fisk from the Rams, Jared Verse from the Rams, Chop Robinson from the Dolphins, Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean from the Eagles.
they're all good players. I'll go with the Dejean.
Okay, I'm going with Jared Verse.
Sure.
I think they were both good this year. We'll see.
Both were fantastic this year. I love Verse. Verse is one. He's gonna be a stud.
All right, this one's easy. Offensive rookie of the year.
Don't even try me.
And the nominees are Jaden Daniels from the Commanders, Bo Nix from the Broncos, Malik Neighbors from the Giants, Brian Thomas Jr. from the Jaguars, and Brock Bowers from the Raiders.
Jane Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, absolutely.
But Brock Bowers, I think, will make somewhat of a run too. Brock Bowers was tremendous for Vegas. Tremendous.
I think it's going to be Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, Jane Daniels.
Okay, next we got Defensive Player of the Year. The nominees are Myles Garrett from the Browns, Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals, TJ Watt from the Steelers, Zach Byrne from the Eagles, and Patrick Surtain from the Broncos. I'm actually going with a dark horse pick. I'm picking Trey Hendrickson.
I like that. I'm going TJ Watt.
Now, I like TJ Watt as well, but I think
Yeah.
Trey Hendrickson, because you know what? You got to look at it this way. The Bengals defense this year was crap. But
Yeah.
Trey Henderson was that bright spot, did great in sacks. So I'm
Yeah.
going with Trey Henderson.
TJ Watt's all over the field, man. The
Oh,
the
yeah.
he's a special player. He's unbelievable.
All right, next is Offensive Player of the Year. The nominees are Joe Burrow from the Bengals, Lamar Jackson from the Ravens, Saquon Barkley from the Eagles, Derrick Henry from the Ravens, and Jamar Chase from the Bengals. I think it's going to come down between Barkley and Chase.
It's Barkley.
I think it's Barkley too, but I wouldn't count Chase out though.
No, I wouldn't count him out either, but
Receiving Triple Crown. So,
yeah.
but I think Barkley has had an amazing year. I think Defensive Player of the Year.
Tremendous.
And speaking of Saquon, did you hear? You know who's going to be in his box for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, your boy DJ, Daniel Jones.
Some Giant fans are having a stroke about this, but
Uh, Stop whining. You stop whining. You wanted him out of New York. And now you're bitching and moaning because he's going to the Super Bowl, watch his friend playing. Come on.
Now they're still very close, so
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Giants fans. Come on now. I don't want to hear Giants fans bitching and moaning about that. Who cares? You didn't want Daniel Jones here. So don't get mad when he supports his friend in the Super Bowl. Come on.
come on, man. Okay. Okay, the big one. MVP from the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen. From the
No,
Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. From the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow. From the Detroit Lions, Jared Goff. And from the Philadelphia Eagles, Saquon Barkley.
it has to. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It has to be. It has to be Saquon.
You think the quarterback bias is going to get broken this year?
It. I. I think it has a chance with Saquon. Yes.
I think that's a very bold pick. Not really. I think it's a very solid pick. I think Josh Allen's going to win this year.
Does it? But if Josh Allen wins, it's because they're trying to be nice to Buffalo.
Like,
That's what it is.
here's a consolation prize.
You didn't make the Super Bowl, but here's your MVP, so you can just chant MVP. No, it's stupid.
So yeah, NFL honors this Thursday night. So Saquon could break that mold. He could break
Can can
that
can
bias.
can he please do that? Can he do that? I'm
Joe
tired of
Burrow
the court.
nominated,
I'm tired of the quarterback bias. I really am.
Joe Burrow nominated for three categories. Is he going to walk
Yeah.
away like Taylor Swift at the Grammys last night with nothing? Hey, we are entitled to one Taylor Swift joke.
Sure. I feel bad for Burrow. Burrow had a tremendous season.
Now,
It's
the
unfortunate.
Bengals had problems, but let me tell you who the problems weren't. They weren't Joe Burrow and they weren't Jamar Chase.
Yeah, it's just very unfortunate that the rest of the team couldn't cooperate.
I agree.
Crazy.
Okay, so I guess that's our show for today.
We'll have more Super Bowl talk on Friday.
Yep.
Um, plus other things.
Pre-game show on Sunday. We'll let you
Mhm.
know the more details on Friday.
Yep. And all that. We can't wait for this. This is an exciting weekend coming
Yep.
up. So, uh, while bittersweet, I don't know. I'm excited about the game. You can't tell me that it isn't exciting to watch the game. And I know it's not the greatest matchup, but look, I just want a good game. If you can give me a good game, fine. We'll live with the stupid matchup, Philly versus KC. We'll live with it. Give me a good game. That's all that matters. Give me a good
I'm
game.
with you on this one.
Um, if you like what you see, please
And why wouldn't
subscribe.
you?
Please subscribe. And hit that notification bell. You will be notified when we go live. Um, Log on to our website, sportscitynetwork.com. You'll read more stuff. You have Rifkin, you have Bill, you have Old Ops Guy. They write stuff all the time. Um, Bill does his vlogs on this very YouTube page.
Yes, I
Stay
do.
tuned. Stay tuned for when that comes out. Um, Follow our socials and continue to follow everything SIP on SIN. All that stuff. Follow us.
So from
Um,
all of us here, stay safe and take care.